Some passage-based questions will ask you something like which quotation best illustrates the author's perspective or their point of view or how they see things over the course of the article. In order to find the answer to those questions, of course, you're going to have to read the passage carefully. It's going to test your reading comprehension and your understanding of a topic, like understanding the author's perspective. You're going to need to reread and hunt through the article from Team Moon, how 400,000 people landed Apollo 11 on the moon. Have this article open as you investigate the question, and you'll find a link to it in the description if you don't have a copy. The question we'll be looking at today to illustrate this is, which quotation best illustrates the author's perspective on the challenges faced during the Apollo 11 mission? We have four possible answers. A, but their goal was clear cut, and that was enough, from paragraph 3. B, they were fueled instead by a desire to explore the heavens, from paragraph 4. C, right from the get-go, administrators who had identified 10,000 individual tasks that would have to be completed, from paragraph 5. And D, they were going to the moon all right. At least that was the plan, from paragraph 1. Now, this one gives you a little bit of help. It gives you quotations, and it gives you the paragraph that those quotations are from. So what I, as the person trying to answer this question, need to do is go back to those paragraphs and read them and see if they illustrate the author's perspective on the challenges faced during the Apollo 11 mission. I might just be able to get it from those examples they give me in the questions, but I'm probably going to need the context that surrounds it. Tips to answer these types of questions are to understand the author's perspective. This means figuring out the author's viewpoint or attitude towards the topic. Ask yourself, what does the author think or feel about this subject? Look for key words. In the quotations, search for words that show feelings, beliefs, or opinions. These often give away the author's perspective, so maybe you can see some of those in A, B, C, or D. And context is key. Sometimes you need to look at the sentences around the quotation to fully understand the author's viewpoint. The surrounding context can provide important clues, which we mentioned before, and why you need to go back to those paragraphs specifically and read around those quotes to see the context. Pause right here, do that real quick, and then we'll come together and discuss. And let's discuss. The question asked, which quotation best illustrates the author's perspective on the challenges faced during the Apollo 11 mission? A said, but their goal was clear-cut, and that was enough. This doesn't directly address the mission's challenges. It's more about the team's determination and the clarity of their goal. So we're looking on the author's perspective on the challenges faced. But their goal was clear cut, and that was enough, doesn't really go in depth about the challenges. We're looking for more information about the challenges, what the author thinks about those challenges. B said they were fueled instead by a desire to explore the heavens. This quote talks about the motivations of the team members and not specifically about challenges. D says the team often worked through the night, fueled by coffee and determination. Now, this option is probably, if I made a mistake on this, the one that I would make a mistake on, because it does show that there was challenge. The team worked through the night. They were fueled by coffee and determination. This team would work really hard, but it doesn't really go into detail about those challenges. It's one where you might miss it based on it, but there's a better answer, and that's C. Right from the get-go, administrators had identified 10,000 individual tasks that would have to be completed. This is the correct answer. It highlights the complexity and the scale of the mission's challenges from the beginning. It's showing that the author's perspective on the point of view on the challenges was that there was a lot and that they were complex and that this was essentially a mountain that this crew would have to climb in order to make this mission happen. We would be able to find more detail about that from here. Paragraph 5 says, but the moon, could it really be done? Right from the get-go, administrators had identified 10,000 individual tasks that would have to be completed, and that was only the beginning. So much to do. Too much? The context around that, but the moon, could it be done? Too much, and that was only the beginning. It underscores the multitude of challenges in the mission, reflecting the author's perspective on how daunting and intricate the task was from the start. This was borderline impossible based on how complex it was. So we have C as the best answer because it highlights the author's perspective that this was a challenging mission.